Chapter 181. Do you like it? Su Yiyan froze for a moment, thinking that he was asking if she liked the manner. I like it. This manner is very beautiful. Hua Chenhuan did not comment and asked again. Do you like the flowers here? Su Yiyan blinked. Only then did she understand that Hua Chenhuan had just asked about the flowers in the courtyard. I like it. But, how do you know that I like blue roses? Hua Chenhuan did not give a direct answer. Instead, he gave an ambiguous answer. If you want to know, you can find out. As long as you have the heart and are willing to understand, there is nothing in this world that can be hidden. If a person does not know what kind of person he likes, what kind of habits she has, what kind of preferences she has, then it can only mean that he is not attentive enough to you, and does not love you enough. The corners of Su Yiyan's lips curled up slightly as she pushed Hua Chenhuan into the manor. Perhaps knowing that someone would come tonight, the manor's gate was wide open, welcoming them in. Su Yiyan looked around, but did not see anyone for a long time. As if seeing her doubts, Hua Chenhuan kindly reminded her. Tonight, there is no one else here except for me and you. Just the two of us? Yes, you don't like to be alone with me? No, just the two of us. This is good. Su Yiyan pushed Hua Chenhuan to the front of the flowers, and asked with a smile. You know that I like blue roses, then do you know why I like blue roses? Why? Blue is the color of the sky and the sea, clean and beautiful. And the flower language of blue roses just happens to be miracles and impossible things. I like miracles, they can always bring me different surprises, just like you. She thought that she would miss you, but unexpectedly returned to the past. In her previous life, this was something impossible to achieve, a miracle that she had never expected. To me you are a miracle. Hua Chenhuan's expression slightly moved, and reached out to hold Su Yiyan's hand. You are also my miracle. Su Yiyan pursed her lips, and just as she was about to say something, she suddenly heard a burst of fireworks outside the manor. Someone is setting off fireworks? Su Yiyan's attention was instantly attracted. Colorful fireworks flew up from both sides of the manor, sometimes like a waterfall pouring down, sometimes like snowflakes dancing in the sky. Su Yiyan at first thought that the fireworks were just deliberately set by the people near the manor, until the fireworks exploded in the sky, one after another. Did you prepare these fireworks? Su Yiyan's voice just fell. Suddenly, a familiar figure flew out of the manor's gate. It was a fat dog wearing a pink lace dress with a large pink bow on its head. As it ran, the flesh all over its body was trembling. The blue rose in its mouth was also being blown by the wind, and was being ravaged. Dun dun. Su Yiyan was about to squat down to greet her little dog, but saw it suddenly turn around and run to her side. Hua Chenhuan carefully took the rose in Dundun's mouth, and patted its little head as a reward. Then she leaned over to look at Su Yiyan and smiled. Yen Yen. Yes. Su Yiyan's heart suddenly jumped, and she inexplicably felt a little nervous. Chapter 182. Su Yiyan's mind went blank for a moment. She stared blankly at the blue rose in front of her. After a while, she finally found her voice. You want me to agree with just a blue rose? That's too perfunctory, isn't it? As soon as the words came out of her mouth, she regretted it. It wasn't just a blue rose, but a courtyard full of roses, a manor, and an island. But even if it was just a rose, she was still willing. What was there to be stubborn about? Then what if I add this? Hua Chenhuan took out a small box that he had prepared earlier, and handed it to Su Yiyan. When Su Yiyan saw the thing inside, her face changed. Inside the delicate little box was a beautiful platinum diamond ring. This diamond ring was in the shape of a rotating belt. Finally, one on the left and one on the right, encircled the uppermost diamond. In addition, if one looked carefully, they would find that the belt of the ring had an incomparably delicate engraving in the shape of an olive branch. At a glance, it looked like two olive branches encircling the diamond. It was a little strange but very beautiful. However, what really surprised Su Yiyan wasn't the design of the diamond ring, but that she had seen this diamond ring in her previous life. During the days when she was by Hua Chenhuan's side as a soul, she had seen several times when Hua Chenhuan was alone at night, staring at this diamond ring thoughtfully. Could it be that in his previous life, He had also fantasized about being together with her. Also, he liked her so much. How could he not have thought about it? But since he had thought about it, why didn't he put it into action? If Su Yiyan's heart flashed with countless guesses, but Hua Qinhuan didn't know anything about it. Seeing that she was silent, the little heart that had long been accustomed to storms and waves actually became nervous. Yin Yin. Su Yiyan suddenly woke up. Only then did she remember that she was at the scene of a marriage proposal. Someone was holding this familiar ring and proposing to her. Since you're so sincere, I'll reluctantly agree to your request. Although she said that, Su Yiyan's eyes were brimming with joy, making it obvious that she was in a good mood at the moment. Hua Qinhuan's heart calmed down, but she didn't expose her. She picked up the ring and put it on her finger carefully. After putting it on, Su Yiyan stared at the ring and turned it over several times. It was neither too tight nor too loose. It wouldn't hurt, and it wouldn't slip out easily. How did you know the size of my finger? Yes, said Wang Yao. Measured? How did you measure it? Hua Qinhuan reached out and took the initiative to hold her hand. Then he opened his hand and intertwined his fingers with hers. This is the amount. Su Yiyan. Like hell, I'll believe you. How can you measure it like this? However, she also knew that there wasn't much point in dwelling on this. Soon, she changed the topic that she was more curious about. The pattern of this ring is a bit special. Does it have any special meaning? Hua Qinhuan held her hand and stroked the texture of the ring. At that time, I asked for eternity, and he gave me a design in return. The body of the ring is a miniature version of the Mobius ring, which symbolizes eternity. The olive branch on the top seems to symbolize peace, but in fact it represents the endless growth of plants, forever and ever. Su Yiyan's eyes became slightly hot when she heard these words. Endless growth, forever and ever. What a moving 8 words. Chapter 183. Who's this guy you're talking about? His name is Hermes. He's a friend of mine and a famous jewelry designer. Su Yiyan was stunned when he heard the name. The internationally famous jewelry designer, Hermes James? Yes. You're friends with him? The internationally renowned jewelry tycoon was in his 40s or 50s. He was a completely different age group from Hua Qinhuan. Most importantly, in 2 years this tycoon, who once controlled the lifeline of the jewelry world, would pass away due to illness. Not long after his death, because he did not leave behind any descendants, the younger generation of the family's collateral branch fought over the inheritance he left behind. A terrible gunfight even broke out. In the end, most of the people died, and the rest ended up in prison. The jewelry tycoon collapsed and disappeared in the long river of history. It became a topic of conversation for many people. Su Yiyan had an impression of this name, because he had seen the relevant news report at the time. He had lamented the impermanence of the world. He did not expect these two to be friends. Then in 2 years, were friends despite the difference in age. Hua Qinhuan did not hide it. I met him by chance on a trip. We became friends because we hit it off. We've known each other for almost 10 years. Su Yiyan was shocked. So long? Yes. I mentioned this idea to him before, but I didn't let him put it into practice. I didn't expect him to have an idea in private long ago. He rushed to produce the finished product before I urged him. This was the main reason why the diamond ring could appear in front of them so quickly. When Hua Qinhuan asked Zui Yanbai to contact Hermes, he was a little worried that there would not be enough time for him to finalize the draft and produce the finished product. He did not expect that the finished product would be delivered a few days after he mentioned it to him. There was also a letter that told him that the wedding ring was in the process of being produced. It would definitely be completed before their wedding, and there was no need to worry. Although Hua Qinhuan did not mention Hermes much, Su Yiyan could feel a sense of closeness. It was obvious that the two of them had a good relationship. After all, there were very few people in this world who could be considered friends by Hua Qinhuan. Why did you suddenly think of proposing? We're about to get married. That day, I promised your father that as long as it's someone else's, I won't take anything less. So you thought of proposing? The proposal is very important. I don't want to have any regrets. This regret was not only for Su Yiyan, but also for himself. Su Yiyan looked at the diamond ring on her finger. She had to admit that Hua Chenhuan was right. Even though she knew that they would get married soon, she still couldn't help but feel a little happy when such a surprise suddenly appeared. This was a little romance that he had planned completely on his own initiative. It was worth treasuring for her for the rest of her life and slowly savoring it in the future. The fireworks outside the courtyard were still going off. They had already transitioned from the previous roses to various characters and languages of Yin Yan, I love you. It was really simple and crude, but she liked it. After the two of them watched the fireworks, they walked around the manor twice. Su Yiyan realized that not only were the flowers that she liked planted in the manor, but the decoration and the overall layout were also the type that she liked. Chapter 184. Oh no! Su Yiyan's face changed greatly. Why is it so late? Hua Chenhuan reminded her at the right time. It was already past 8 when you woke up. Wouldn't it be 12 o'clock after eating and taking a stroll? Su Yiyan wanted to cry but had no tears. No, I have to go home. My parents will go crazy if they don't see me back so late. It's not safe to go out to sea so late. Su Yiyan suddenly froze. Indeed, it was very dangerous to go out to sea in the dark. Then I'll call my parents and inform them. Where's my cell phone? Su Yiyan rummaged through her clothes for a long time, and finally found her cell phone in her jacket pocket. She opened it. No. Yes. No. Why is there no signal here? Hua Chenhuan's face didn't change. The terrain is remote, and we haven't had time to install a signal receiver. Assistant Zhua, who had installed a shielding device early in the morning and blocked all the signals on the island, was very famous. Then what should we do? It's okay. Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyan's hand and comforted her. Before we came, I asked Xiaoyang to report your whereabouts to your parents. Your parents should know that you're here now, and that you're going to stay here tonight. They won't worry. Su Yiyan wasn't comforted at all. Instead, she looked at Hua Chenhuan sadly. No, you asked Xiaoyang to tell them. They may be more worried now. Hua Chenhuan laughed. What are they worried about? That I'll eat you? Su Yiyan curled her lips. That's not impossible. You've already proposed. You should ask for some reward, right? That's because they don't know my physical condition. Su Yiyan was slightly stunned. Just when she was about to comfort him, she heard him say, but it's not impossible to ask for other rewards. It's my negligence. Thank you for reminding me. Su Yiyan. Did she dig a hole and bury herself in it? Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyan's slightly sluggish expression, and knew that she couldn't tease her too much. She comforted her. It's just one night. It's okay. It's late. Let's go upstairs and check out the rooms. I'll send you back tomorrow morning. Su Yiyan sighed and compromised. That's the only way. The two of them and the dog went upstairs. At first, Su Yiyan was a little worried that Hua Chenhuan would ask to sleep in the same room as her. However, Hua Chenhuan took her directly to the master bedroom, and took Dun Dun to the guest room. Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time, she was inexplicably a little disappointed. After a day of torment, Su Yiyan thought that she would fall asleep as soon as she touched the bed. She didn't know if it was because she had slept before or because too many unexpected things had happened that night. She lay on the bed for more than an hour, but she didn't feel sleepy at all. The weather on the island changed quickly. They were still watching the stars on the beach in the first half of the night. In the second half of the night, there was a sudden gust of wind, lightning, thunder and rain. Su Yiyan couldn't sleep anymore. She looked at the threatening curtains by the window. After hesitating for a moment, she got up and closed the window. But it couldn't block out the sound of the wind, lightning and rain outside the window. Just then, there was a sudden knock on the door of her room. Su Yiyan froze slightly. Hua Chenhuan had said that there were only the two of them in the manor tonight. Was it Hua Chenhuan who was knocking on the door, or Su Yiyan took a deep breath and walked over slowly? Chapter 185. Su Yiyan was shocked. She took a closer look and realized that it was Dun Dun. When she looked up again, she saw Hua Chenhuan's familiar figure. Unlike before he left, Hua Chenhuan was wearing light blue cotton pajamas, which made him look more casual and approachable. She looked prettier. Hua Chenhuan saw that she was staring at her, and took the initiative to break the silence. It's raining. Su Yiyan instantly sobered up. She smiled awkwardly and said, Yes. Yes. There's thunder. Yes. Dundun seems to be a little afraid of thunder. He keeps coming over. Dundun is afraid of thunder. Su Yiyan blinked doubtfully, and looked down at the little guy at her feet. Dundun. If he's afraid, then so be it. I'm used to being the scapegoat. Woof. Dundun barked sadly. Then it threw itself on Su Yiyan's cotton slippers and shivered. If Gu Xiaoyang and the others were here, they would definitely sigh and say, This dog has become a demon. Su Yiyan felt sorry for Dundun. She bent over and picked up the little guy. Then let him sleep in my room. After Su Yiyan finished speaking, she found that Hua Chenhuan was still at the door. She asked doubtfully, Is there anything else? I'm afraid of thunder too. Su Yiyan. What are you afraid of? During the time when I was with you, I encountered many thunderstorms, but I didn't see you being afraid. How old are you? Are you still afraid of thunder? It has nothing to do with age. Su Yiyan's mouth twitched. She thought, It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with how thick-skinned you are. At this time, Hua Chenhuan was obviously going to be thick-skinned to the end. There's no one else in this house except you and me. She was implying that she was afraid of thunder, so she could only rely on her. Then, let Dundun accompany you? Dundun, who had been acting for a long time and was about to be stuffed back in again. It's scared and I'm scared. If we stick together, we'll be even more scared. Are you still playing 1 + 1 = 2 at this time? Su Yiyan couldn't help but want to roll her eyes. She suddenly wanted to tell the person in front of her that she was actually afraid of thunder. However, in the current situation, it was clearly not feasible. Then what do you suggest we do? Hua Chenhuan's eyes flashed with a trace of a triumphant smile. You already let Dundun stay in your room. You shouldn't mind having one more person, right? Su Yiyan. Who said I don't mind? Dundun is Dundun, you are you. How is it the same? That's not good, is it? I don't sleep well. As soon as he said this, Hua Chenhuan couldn't help but laugh. What are you thinking? I just want to borrow the floorboards in your room, to sleep on the floor. Su Yiyan was stunned, and her face uncontrollably turned red. Oh my God. What did she just say? Cough. I'm not thinking of anything. You have a good room to sleep in, but you want to sleep on the floor in my room? In this kind of weather, aren't you afraid of freezing to death? There's a heating system in the house. Su Yiyan choked. But there's no spare quilt. The spare quilt is in the bottom right corner of the wardrobe. There's a cover and a cushion. Su Yiyan. You're so well prepared. I suspect that you've been planning this for a long time, and it was premeditated. Even if you have all these things, it's still... Before Su Yiyan could finish, Hua Chenhuan interrupted her. What are you afraid of? What? Chapter 186. Su Yiyan felt inexplicably guilty under his gaze. She subconsciously took a step back and said sternly, No, no. Since you didn't take me in, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Su Yiyan opened her mouth and was about to say something when she heard Hua Chenhuan say, You said before that I should ask for a reward for my successful proposal. The reward I want is to sleep on the floor in your room. This request isn't too much, right? Su Yiyan. I have nothing to say. In the end, Su Yiyan was persuaded by him. Well then. But I have to say in advance that sleeping in the same room is just sleeping in the same room. Don't do anything unnecessary. Although we are about to get married, there are some things that can only be done after marriage. These things were not just that kind of thing. Although Su Yiyan usually kissed and hugged Hua Chenhuan, she was actually quite conservative. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been unable to resist every time she was flirted with. A smile flashed across Hua Chenhuan's eyes. She responded obediently, Okay. Su Yiyan turned around and put the Dundun aside first. Then, she helped Hua Chenhuan find a spare quilt. After quickly laying it down, she hurriedly turned on the circulating heating system. In just a few minutes, the room was much warmer. It's all done. Go to sleep. Su Yiyan had just helped Hu Chenhuan lie down when she immediately went back to her bed. She covered her head with the quilt and didn't move. A few minutes later, Su Yiyan secretly poked her little head out and asked in a low voice, "Are you still awake?" She thought that she wouldn't get a reply. Unexpectedly, in the next second, she heard a low voice from below. Yes. Su Yiyan was startled. She quickly shrank back into the quilt and shouted as if her butt was on fire, "Sleep early. Good night." Perhaps it was because she felt more at ease with someone by her side, or perhaps it was because she was a little tired after the commotion caused by Hu Chenhuan. At first, Su Yiyan didn't know how to deal with this awkward situation, so she hid. But as she hid, she fell asleep in a daze. Because of this, she missed a certain someone's gaze that was still shockingly bright in the dark night, filled with gentleness and love, and that gentle and heart-stirring good night, at the end. Outside the window, the rain was still falling. Even the howling wind and roaring thunder were not enough to disturb the tranquility of the room. Dundun was curled up in its kennel in the corner of the room. It looked around. Even though the two of them were not doing anything, it still felt like a lot of dog food was being thrown at its face. To have two masters like these, it was really too difficult. Su Yiyan slept very soundly. Even the storm outside did not disturb her in the slightest. In the end, she was woken up by the noise outside the door. "Young Master Su, please calm down." "Calm down. My biological sister has been kidnapped. How do you expect me to calm down? Where's my sister? And where's Hu Chenhuan? Tell him to get out here." "Brother?" Su Yiyan heard this voice and instantly woke up. Her body reacted faster than her brain. She jumped off the bed and ran to open the door. At this time, Su Yuxuan and the others just happened to walk over to her side. Unexpectedly seeing the door open, they were all shocked. Su Yuxuan was the first to react. Just as he was about to show a surprised expression, he saw someone behind his sister. The expression on his face suddenly froze. Then it became gloomy, angry, and as dark as the bottom of a pot. Chapter 187. The earth-shattering roar almost collapsed the roof of the manor. It was conceivable that Su Yuxuan was on the verge of exploding. After being yelled at, Su Yiyan finally realized the seriousness of the matter. She turned her head stiffly and saw Hu Chenhuan, who had also just woken up. Su Yiyan immediately gasped and hurriedly explained, "Brother, don't misunderstand. Nothing happened between us." Unfortunately, Su Yuxuan was so angry that he lost his mind. He said without thinking, "Then why are you sleeping in the same room?" Because it rained heavily and thundered last night. I was afraid to be alone, so I asked him to come over and accompany me. Moreover, he slept on the floor while I slept on the bed. Nothing happened between us." As soon as Su Yiyan said that, everyone present was stunned, especially Hu Chenhuan. However, he quickly realized that Su Yiyan was defending him. The corners of his lips curled up unconsciously. "Why is Big Brother here? Don't call me that. Who's your brother?" Su Yuxuan was even angrier when he heard Hu Chenhuan call him that. He glared fiercely at Hu Chenhuan, stepped forward, grabbed his sister's hand, and dragged her out. "Brother, what are you doing?" Su Yiyan was unprepared. She staggered a few steps forward and almost fell. Hu Chenhuan's eyes darkened slightly. He gave Gu Xiaoyang and the others a look. They understood and quickly stepped forward to separate the two of them. "What else can I do? I'll take you out of here." As soon as Su Yuxuan finished speaking, he was held up by two people and forcibly separated from his sister. "What are you doing? Let go of me." "Brother." Su Yiyan was also a little surprised by their actions. Before she could do anything, her hand was suddenly held by the person beside her. The person placed her hand in the palm of his hand and carefully stroked and rubbed it. "You're hurting her." There was a hint of anger in Chen Shu's tone. Only then did Su Yiyan notice that her wrist had turned red from the tugging just now. Her skin was fair to begin with, so the redness was a little shocking. Upon seeing this, Su Yuxuan also realized that he had been impulsive just now. He looked regretful, not only because he had accidentally hurt his sister, but also because his impulsiveness had caused him to lose the initiative in front of Hua Chenhuan. Hua Chenhuan rubbed Su Yiyan's wrist for a while before finally dispersing the red marks on her wrist. Looking at how focused he was, those who didn't know would think that he was not holding a hand, but some unknown rare treasure. Su Yiyan's ears turned red. As soon as the other party loosened his grip, she quickly pulled her hand back. My brother didn't do it on purpose. Tell them to let him go. In fact, Su Yiyan didn't need to say anything. Gu Xiaoyang and the others didn't dare to hold the future brother-in-law of their young master for too long. They had already loosened their grip a long time ago. The reason why they still maintained their original position was that Su Yuxuan was completely stunned by the two people's behavior of abusing single people, as if there was no one else around. As soon as he came back to his senses, he broke free from their restraint. He snorted coldly and turned to leave. Upon seeing this, Su Yiyan hurriedly said, I should go back. I'll come to see you next time if I have the chance. Hua Chenhuan thought that according to his future brother-in-law's reaction, the next time would not come so easily. With this thought, Hua Chenhuan suddenly leaned over to Su Yiyan and kissed her on the cheek before she could react. Su Yiyan blinked in surprise and blankly. Touching the place where she was kissed, her first reaction was. Chapter 188. Su Yuxuan was angry, but he couldn't just leave his sister in the wolf's den. After walking for a while, he stopped and prepared to go back and fight with Hua Chenhuan and the guys around him. Fortunately, before he could take action, Su Yiyan followed him. Su Yuxuan was stunned for a moment, and his expression became better. They didn't stop you? Why would they stop me? Brother, nothing happened between me and him last night. Since nothing happened, why didn't you return last night? Su Yiyan choked and said with a guilty conscience. Because we stayed on this island for too long last night, and forgot the time. When we remembered, it was already very late. It's not safe to go out to sea late at night. Although she said that, Su Yuxuan still saw the loophole in her words at a glance. He coldly snorted. Then who brought you to this island? Him. And who brought you to this island to play and forget the time? It's also him. Su Yuxuan only asked these two questions, and directly closed the coffin. Forget the time? I think he did it on purpose. He deliberately brought you here, deliberately left you on the island so late, and deliberately went to your room. Although her brother was right, Su Yiyan still tried her best to salvage the situation. Brother, there was really thunder and rain last night. It was very loud, and I was afraid to be alone, so I asked him to come and accompany me. And you should have seen it just now. He slept on the floor, and I slept on the bed. The first two things are fine, but it can't be that the thunder and lightning, the storm and the storm were all arranged by him, right? This time, it was Su Yuxuan's turn to choke. Just as his sister said, no matter how powerful Hua Chenhuan was, he didn't have the ability to call the wind and summon the rain, nor the ability to control lightning. So, all of this was just a coincidence? Even the heavens were on his side? Su Yuxuan's face darkened just as this thought popped up in his head. Aya, how infuriating. Su Yiyan saw her brother's face change several times, becoming darker and darker. She knew something was wrong and quickly changed the topic. Brother, why are you here? Shouldn't you be in the office at this time? The company is not as important as you. Su Yuxuan's face darkened as she snorted. You didn't come home last night, and your phone couldn't be reached. Mom and Dad were so worried that they almost called the police. Su Yiyan looked embarrassed. Didn't anyone tell you that I'm not going back? It would have been better if Su Yiyan hadn't mentioned this. Now that she mentioned it, Su Yuxuan's face darkened even more. Of course there is. It's because he came to our house and told us that you wouldn't be coming back tonight, and would be staying at his young master's place that Mom and Dad were even more nervous. You're not even married yet, and you're already staying at his house. If this gets out, who knows what people will say about you? When they couldn't get through to Su Yiyan's phone, they were still worried that something might have happened to her. Now that they knew she was fine, they were relieved, but at the same time, they had a new worry. Su Yiyan had already been subjected to a lot of criticism because of the incident between the Su family and the family Hua. If people found out about today's incident, who knew what kind of infuriating things they would say? Su Yiyan looked embarrassed. She smiled and said, "This place is so secluded. No one would know about it, right? Moreover, we're engaged. It's normal for us to live together and try to get married." Chapter 189. Su Yiyan's expression stiffened, and she said awkwardly, "I was just giving an example." Su Yuxuan breathed a sigh of relief, but he still felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. He complained in a low voice, "You also know that this place is remote. How dare you foolishly follow him to such a remote place? Aren't you afraid that he will eat you up?" Su Yiyan said in her heart, "Didn't I fall asleep and wake up here? How could I have known that this place was so remote?" However, she couldn't say this out loud. If she really said it, she had no doubt that her elder brother would thoroughly beat Hu Chenhuan into a scheming boy and rush back to fight with him. "I'm fine, aren't I? How dare he? Let's see if Dad and I will break his legs." Su Yiyan. "You really don't need to do that." Su Yuxuan seemed to have realized this after shouting. His face darkened, and he became more and more depressed. "Anyway, that's what happened. After that guy went to our house to report, Dad and Mom didn't sleep the whole night. I didn't sleep either. I asked them to send me here at dawn." What Su Yuxuan didn't say was that when he received the news last night, his first reaction was to go out to sea to look for her, but he was rejected by Gu Xiaoyang and the others for the same reason. With a belly full of anger, he waited until dawn and immediately urged Gu Xiaoyang and the others to bring him over. Along the way, he stabbed the bastard who abducted his baby sister countless times in his heart. "It's my fault. I promise I won't make such a serious mistake again." Su Yuxuan snorted coldly. "Even if you want to, I'm afraid you won't be able to do it again." Su Yiyan understood in her heart that when she went back this time, she was afraid that she would be forced to be watched by her parents until she got married. The two of them took the boat back to the opposite shore. Su Yiyan's mobile phone finally had a signal, so she called home immediately. Her mother answered the phone. Surprisingly, she did not reprimand Su Yiyan for not coming home last night. She only said, "Don't do this next time." Then she let it go. Compared to Su Yuxuan's recent ruckus, this place was terrifyingly calm. Su Yiyan once suspected that this was the calm before the storm. However, what Su Yiyan didn't know was that before she called back, Su Yuxuan had already reported everything that she had seen and heard on the island. Cheng Xiuqin and the others already knew that nothing out of the ordinary had happened between the two of them, which was why they were so calm. Otherwise, Su Yuxuan would not be the only one with murderous intent. When Su Yiyan returned home, Cheng Xiuqin and the others had just gone out to pick up her uncle. There was no one at home, which made her greatly relieved. However, since her uncle was here, it was time to nourish him and her aunt. She wanted them to work hard and try to make a baby. Cough, cough. Moreover, as the saying went, if you eat from others, you have to be soft-hearted. She cooked a good meal to make the elders happy. They couldn't blame her for yesterday's incident, right? Su Yiyan went into the kitchen with a little thought. Just as she connected to the internet, she saw a few notifications. Normally, she wouldn't look at this kind of entertainment news. Just as she was about to open the news, she saw a photo at the top. It was a publicity photo of a girl group, and a familiar figure was in the center of the publicity photo. Her smile was gentle and bright. Those who didn't know would think that she was very popular now and had a promising future. Chapter 190. Xia Junxing had only mentioned it yesterday when he was reporting to her about the company's work. He said that when Jinping had dug her own grave by scamming others on the internet to gain popularity, she did not expect to meet a tough opponent and fail on the spot, causing a negative impact. She was then persuaded to leave the show by the program team. It had only been a day since she was invited back. Obviously, she had used some unknown connections. Ning Chirue could no longer be her help, and she probably had not had time to hook up with her other spare tires. After thinking about it, it seemed that only Hua Xiaofeng could help her return to the stage at this time. Yes, last night, The female lead sneaked into the family Hua in disguise to visit the male lead who was still in bed. The two of them reconciled after talking. Early this morning, the male lead contacted a senior member of the program team and sent the female lead back. Su Yiyan smiled coldly. She is indeed the child of the world with her own protagonist aura. Not to mention that the family Hua is strictly guarded, and Hua Qihan's birthday banquet was so big before. Most people should already know what she looks like. No matter how much she disguises herself, how can she change her face? It's so easy to let her in. It's like a game. The world's consciousness has always given preferential treatment to the protagonists. What the host needs to do is to break this preferential treatment. This could be seen from the fact that those outstanding big shots would either lose their intelligence or inexplicably rapidly weaken, or even die when they met the two protagonists. Does the host want to replace her? Why should I replace her? She can stay if she wants. There are so many talented and good-looking people up there. If she has some ability, then so be it. If she doesn't have the ability and still insists on staying, she will only bring disgrace to herself. There was only one way to conquer others, and that was to work hard to make yourself better than anyone else. Opportunism was never a long-term solution. Even if you got some benefits for a while, there would be a day when you would suffer a backlash. Su Yiyan's sudden broadcast without warning could be said to be a pleasant surprise for those who were surfing the internet. Look at what I saw. Ha ha ha, while no one is around, I'm hugging the host and doing a 100-meter sprint. Upstairs, put her down. Where is there no one? I'm watching the streamer's live stream 24/7. If anyone wants to hug, it should be me. A group of people were arguing on the screen, fighting to take Su Yiyan away. In the end, it was the father of the number one on the leaderboard who stepped in. He gave her a few luxurious gifts and even replied in bold font on the screen. Mine. The noise on the screen stopped abruptly, and then the discussion became even more lively. This is a familiar scene. I knew it. The number one on the leaderboard in the previous livestream must have been hacked. That's right. The daddy who ranked first in the last livestream had a sudden change in style. Now that I think about it, I still can't accept it. Just as a bunch of similar comments were sent out, everyone saw two words floating across the top of the screen. Love you, the crowd. F***CK, did your account get hacked again? Wasn't he fine just now? Why did he change again? Is he suffering from a split personality? Boss, blink if you're kidnapped. This is the internet. How do you expect her to blink at you? Be good, baby. Don't be naughty. Return the phone to your mother. Su Yiyan was a little touched when she saw the words, love you. However, after seeing these funny comments, this touch was replaced by schadenfreude. She secretly wondered how a certain someone who had become a mother would feel at this moment. Chapter 191. A certain someone who had just become a mother didn't feel anything. No one could make him take off the vest that he had put on with all his might. After a while, Su Yiyan was still protective. She coughed softly and said, there are a little more dishes to cook today, so I entered the live broadcast room in advance. Thank you to the little cutie who has been squatting in the live broadcast room to support me. Next, let's start with the custom-made private medicinal cuisine for the lucky viewer who drew the last live broadcast, Shouwu liver slices. The main herbs used are Shouwu Huangjing. Before Su Yiyan finished speaking, the screen was filled with complaints. Host, the Research Institute's announcement is talking about you, right? When will these medicinal herbs be officially sold? We've already prepared the money, but we can't even find a place to buy them. How can this be justified? Yes, we're still in a hurry to save lives. Please give us a specific time. This group of people had probably gone to bother the administrator of the Research Institute before, but they couldn't get anything out of him, so they could only come to Su Yiyan to try their luck. Su Yiyan frowned slightly and pondered for a moment before saying, due to the fact that these things are relatively rare, and the Research Institute doesn't have many finished products, a large part of them may be kept as seeds for priority cultivation. It will take some time for them to be sold publicly. Considering that some people's illnesses really can't be delayed, how about this? For some seriously ill patients whose lives are at stake, You can try to send a medical record to the research institute. After the research institute verifies that there are indeed medicinal herbs in the institute that can treat the disease, they will provide them with priority. As for how to verify and what standards to use for verification, the research institute had a ruler to measure. It wasn't something that Su Yiyan should worry about. However, I'll make it clear in advance that the effects of medicinal herbs on diseases vary from person to person. It may not be suitable for everyone. Please be mentally prepared for this. As soon as Su Yiyan said this, the audience in the live broadcast room boiled over again. Due to the support of the research institute, the number of viewers in her live broadcast room had already exceeded 1 million and was rapidly approaching 2 million. Her favorability was also constantly increasing. At this rate, she estimated that she would be able to smoothly advance to level 3 by the end of this live broadcast. Woof. I'm going to send the medical record to the research institute now. My grandfather's illness can't be delayed any longer. Sure enough, the key lies with the host. After all, the host is the main owner of the medicinal herbs. Speaking of which, my period is coming soon. Can I submit a medical record if I have severe menstrual cramps? I also want to ask, is there any medicine for toothache? Can you give me a medical record as well? The two above listen carefully. This is a critically ill patient whose life is at stake. Why are you adding to the chaos? I don't like what you're saying. Haven't you heard that toothache isn't an illness? Does it hurt like hell? In just a moment, the audience had already started arguing about what a life-threatening patient was. Su Yiyan did not stop them. He concentrated on washing the ingredients that he needed. He first added the fleece flower root and sealwort into the pot and boiled them for about 10 minutes. Then he added the cut carrots, pig liver, and abalone mushrooms. Tuber fleece flower has the effect of tonifying liver and kidney, replenishing blood essence, black beard and hair, and strengthening muscles and bones. Sealwort also has a certain effect on the deficiency of spleen and stomach, and early white beard and hair. When the audience heard this, their hearts skipped a beat. Black beard and hair. Was it what they thought it was? Paired with pig liver that replenishes blood, it has the effect of nourishing yin and blood, as well as preventing hair loss. Chapter 192. F***CK. Can this stuff really cure hair loss? Baldies, please save us. My long wait in this live broadcast room was not in vain. It's finally our turn. I beg the goddess of luck to bless me, and let me draw this pot of soup. Did the person above forget that this is the medicinal cuisine exclusive to the lucky audience from the last live broadcast? Sob, 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 I'm jealous. So, can I take it that the lucky audience from the last live broadcast was bald? Blind student, you've discovered something. What's wrong with being bald? Does being bald have no human rights? If not for the sake of living, who would stay up late and go bald at such a young age? It's too difficult to be bald. QEQ. She watched as a group of bitter baldies clamored on the bullet screen, asking Su Yiyan if she could show them some pity. Even if she couldn't popularize the medicinal herbs as soon as possible, she could at least draw a few more lucky audience members to give them some hope. Su Yiyan frowned slightly. She couldn't help but have some thoughts in her mind. She did have some of these medicinal herbs in her hands. However, as the number of viewers in her live broadcast room increased, her favorability rapidly increased. Not only did the area of her farm expand, but the soil had also been upgraded to a certain extent. As a result, the medicinal herbs she produced were much more effective than the ones she used before, not to mention the ones cultivated by the Research Institute. She was now reducing the amount of these ingredients she added into the medicinal cuisine. In order to be in line with the Research Institute, it was impossible to sell them separately. However, if she only sold the finished medicinal cuisine, Su Yiyan's mind was spinning 1,000 times, but her hands didn't stop moving. After making the fleece root lung slice, she stewed 2 soups as quickly as possible: lotus seed cerealia pork loin soup and angelica ginger lamb soup. Su Yiyan didn't introduce the 2 soups much when she made them. This made the audience, who had long been used to Su Yiyan explaining while making, feel very awkward. They spontaneously asked about the effects of the 2 soups. as well as the effects of some unknown medicinal herbs that they had seen used in them. Su Yiyan saw that she couldn't escape, so she blushed and said, "This is lotus seed cerealia pork loin soup. Lotus seed has appeared before, and I've also introduced it before. Cerealia has the effect of anti-aging and nourishing the nests. When paired with walnuts that nourish the kidneys, the three ingredients together have the effect of improving the balance of estrogen and enhancing, sexual desire." As soon as the introduction came out, the bullet screen was dead silent for a few seconds. Then it exploded like a blowout. F***CK, isn't that the same effect as sexy streamer, driving online? I'm just watching a gourmet livestream. If not, I'll add a livestream of medical science and Chinese herbal medicine. Why did I suddenly turn a corner and start driving? Host, have you been infected by the host's father? Ha 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 ha, look at how nervous the streamer is. It looks like this is your first time driving. Come on, let's have fun. Driver, open the door. This is not the bus to the kindergarten. I want to get off. The doors are welded shut. No one is allowed to get out of the car. Let us run to the finish line together. Sob sob sob, the few people in front, be careful. If this goes too far, our live stream room will be blocked. Shrug hand. JPG. Su Yiyan had already expected these guys to react this way, so she planned to be vague in the beginning. She didn't expect that she still couldn't escape. Chapter 193. Unfortunately, these words had no effect on the audience, who were already laughing like crazy. Yes, yes, yes. It's not that exaggerated. We understand, we understand. See through, but don't say it out loud. It's not suitable to discuss this topic in public. Skip, skip. Look at this car. It's big and yellow, and it drives very fast. Not bad, not bad. Su Yiyan was speechless. It seemed like they didn't listen at all. Su Yiyan sighed helplessly when she realized that she couldn't get through to them. She didn't continue to argue and started talking about the second soup. Things like moral integrity were really something that one would get used to over time. When she started talking about the first soup, Su Yiyan was at a loss. Now that she was talking about the second soup, she felt like she had nothing left to lose. Angelica ginger mutton soup. Angelica can nourish the blood and regulate the essence. Mutton can nourish the kidneys. Paired with ginger to dispel the cold, it has a great effect on kidney yang deficiency. Kidney yang deficiency? I think I know something. I think so too. Me too. A lot of meaningful comments floated through the bullet screen. Finally, an audience member pointed it out. Host, are you planning to make a baby with your husband? Su Yiyan's face turned completely red when she saw the bullet screen. This batch of audience members was really bad. Every one of them had such a wide range of thoughts. Hua Chenhuan, who was watching the live broadcast, saw this and her face darkened. Even Zui Yanbai, who was accompanying her today, was implicated. Fortunately, he quickly calmed down and said in a low voice, "As far as I know, Miss Su's uncle should be arriving at the Su family's house today." Hua Chenhuan raised her eyebrows and motioned for him to continue. Miss Su's uncle and aunt have been married for nearly 20 years, but they haven't been able to conceive a child. I saw that Miss Su's previous live broadcasts were full of dishes that nourished women's bodies and increased the chances of pregnancy. Judging from all these two soups are probably prepared for her uncle and aunt. After listening to his explanation, Hua Chenhuan's expression finally improved a little. Zui Yanbai also breathed a sigh of relief. He was glad that he had been paying attention to the movements of the Su family and saved his worthless life at the critical moment. Coincidentally, Su Yiyan could not help coughing lightly and explained awkwardly, "It's not me, it's the elders in my family." So it's an elder. I'm a little disappointed. The streamer had said before that she was already married. Was she really not going to try and make a baby? I can't be the host's husband, but I can be the host's child. Beast, what are you trying to do to the streamer's child? Why are you so agitated? I just want to say that I can be the host's-in-law. What are you thinking? Nose-picking. Nose-picking. Is the person who asked the streamer to make a baby stupid? If the streamer is pregnant, it means that she has to take care of the fetus. Can she still broadcast so frequently while taking care of the fetus? Be clear about the main points. Don't lose sight of the big picture for the small. F***ck, I didn't think of that. Su Yiyan. Hey, that's enough. You guys were just making babies before, and now you're starting to nurture a fetus? Do you have to be so imaginative? As the person involved, I can't keep up. Fortunately, the last viewer's words woke everyone up. The army of people who wanted to have babies was quickly defeated by the shocking idea of the streamer might not broadcast live if she's pregnant. They all closed their mouths and, as Su Yiyan wished, began to complain about Su Yiyan's elders. Chapter 194. Su Yiyan looked at the screen full of viewers who wanted to be her relatives. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, but she did not say anything. This was the longest live broadcast Su Yiyan had ever done. It took about 3 hours before Su Yiyan finally finished cooking all the dishes. She packed the dishes that she had gotten from Ning Chirue and Hua Chenhuan, and sent them out. She almost collapsed. The thoughts in her heart were magnified countless times at this moment. She could not go on like this. She had to shoulder this burden before she died from overwork. Before that, she had to find an ally first. The first person that Su Yiyan targeted was her biological uncle, who had come from the same place. As the saying goes, a nephew resembles his uncle. From Su Yuxuan, one could tell what kind of person Su Yiyan's uncle was. It was not that the two looked alike, but that their temperaments were similar. They were the kind of people who looked gentle and refined on the surface, but were actually evil. Moreover, they were very protective of their family members. No matter how awe-inspiring they were outside, at home, they were gentle and warm men who put their family members first. Like Qin Shueru, Cheng Juanhao, who had been married for many years without children, had long regarded his sister's children as his own. From the moment he saw Cheng Xiuqin and the others, he either asked his wife or asked why the 2 children did not come with them. Cheng Xiuqin and the others interrupted and told him frankly at first, but thinking that he was tired from the journey, they only replied vaguely, "They have something to do." Cheng Juanhao was suspicious, but he did not ask much. He followed the others back to the Su family's house and smelled a special fragrance. "What's this smell? It smells so good." Cheng Xiuqin and the others' eyes lit up slightly. They smiled faintly and said, "It should be Yin Yin cooking." Cooking? During this time, Cheng Juanhao learned from his wife that his precious niece had recently learned to cook, and the food she cooked tasted good. His wife, who originally had no appetite and was rapidly losing weight, gained a few kilograms of weight. Her complexion was also much better than before. However, Cheng Juanhao couldn't help but feel a little dazed when he smelled it personally. Coincidentally, Su Yiyan had finished cleaning up the mess and came out of the kitchen. "Uncle?" Su Yiyan quickly ran over and gave him a hug. "You must be tired from the journey. I made some dishes to welcome Uncle. If there's nothing else, let's eat first." Su Yuxuan was carrying 2 plates of food in front of Su Yiyan. Her eyes lit up when she saw them. Only the heavens knew how torturous it was for him to stay outside for the past few hours without being able to eat. "Since you're all back, let's eat." As soon as Cheng Xiuqin and the others heard that it was time to eat, they immediately left Cheng Juanhao, the main character of the welcome party, and gathered around the table like little chicks waiting to be fed. Cheng Juanhao, who was a little unaccustomed to their style, was pulled over by his brother-in-law in the end. However, he soon understood why they were acting so abnormally. One after another, fragrant dishes came out of the kitchen like flowing water. Even Cheng Juanhao couldn't help but swallow his saliva, let alone Cheng Xiuqin and the others who had already eaten other delicacies. Their eyes were green with envy. After the dishes, there was soup. There were too many things to cook today. In order to save time, Su Yiyan directly made a large stew pot that could stew several small pots at once. She stewed a pot of soup for everyone in the family. Chapter 195. This one is for Auntie, and this one is for Uncle. Su Yiyan brought out the soup and distributed it to everyone. The others were used to it, and they just stared at the soup in front of them. It was Chung Juanhao's first time seeing such a scene. He looked at the soup in front of him, and then at his wife's soup in confusion. Why is the soup different? This is a tonic soup with medicinal herbs. Men and women have different tonics, so the soup is naturally different. Chung Juanhao did not know much about this, so he asked suspiciously, "There's such a thing?" "Of course. Why would I lie to you, uncle?" Chung Juanhao nodded and did not say anything else. On the other hand, old Master Chung glanced at their soup. He thought about how his granddaughter had been nourishing Qin Shueru's body all this time. So he could more or less guess the effect of these soups. He lowered his head slightly and hid the smile on his face. Chung Xiuqin and the others could more or less guess this, so they smiled and tried to smooth things over. What does it matter if it's the same or not? The key is whether it tastes good or not. Speaking of which, it's all thanks to you today. Although Yin Yin usually cooks, it's not as sumptuous as today. We'll talk about other things later. Let's eat first. With such a big table of dishes, it won't taste good when it gets cold. After Chung Xiuqin said that, they no longer paid attention to the 2 bowls of soup in front of Chung Juanhao and his wife. They focused on eating. Chung Juanhao did not eat much on the way here, so he was indeed a little hungry now. Coincidentally, the dish in front of him was his favorite fish, so he picked up a mouthful and put it in his mouth without thinking. In the next second, an indescribable excitement rushed from his tongue to his head, causing his entire face to turn red. This. Qin Shueru saw him like this and quickly poured a glass of cold water for him. Chung Juanhao drank half the glass of cold water before he finally calmed down. He slurred and said, "This fish. Why is this fish so spicy?" Qin Shueru had been married to him for so many years, but this was the first time she saw him in such a sorry state. She could not help but laugh. "There's chili in it." "Chili? Those red ones are much spicier than ginger." Su Yiyan pointed at the red chili peppers on the plate. "My brother and dad both like spicy food, so I made more spicy dishes. If uncle doesn't like the taste, there's also a plate of sweet and sour fish. It's lighter." When Chung Juanhao heard what she said, he didn't feel too conflicted. He first tried the sweet and sour fish, and the taste was indeed a little bland. Although it was delicious, he didn't like sweet things. After a moment of hesitation, he reached for the spicy steamed Christian carp. This time, at least he was mentally prepared. While it was spicy, he also felt that this fish tasted better than any fish he had eaten before. The first mouthful was a little stimulating, but the second mouthful started to get used to it. The third mouthful was enough, and by the fourth mouthful he couldn't stop anymore. Su Yiyan raised his head while holding his bowl, and saw his uncle frequently reaching for the spicy dishes on the table. His face was red from eating, but he still couldn't bear to put down his chopsticks. Great, another spicy person who was captivated by chili peppers. Fortunately, she would make some tea for them to drink every day to reduce internal heat. Otherwise, they would have been tortured to death by constipation and other side effects. Chapter 196. Chung Juanhao touched his bulging belly. For the first time in his life, he felt what it felt like to be too full. At the same time, he finally understood why his wife didn't want to stay at home after a few days. If he could eat such delicious food every day, he also wanted to stay here for a long time. Once people were full, it was not easy to think about those bad things. Su Yiyan suddenly made so many dishes today. On one hand, it was to welcome Chung Juanhao. On the other hand, she wanted to use this opportunity to please Chung Xiuqin and others so that they wouldn't take last night's incident to heart. Chung Xiuqin and others obviously knew this. For the sake of the table full of food, they didn't say anything to Su Yiyan. After the meal, they went to the yard to stroll around to digest. Chung Juanhao wanted to follow them, but Su Yiyan stopped him first. "Uncle, I have something to discuss with you." Chung Juanhao was stunned. Looking at his niece's bright smile, he was a little puzzled. "What is it?" "I want to open a restaurant." "Open a restaurant? What kind of restaurant?" "A medicinal cuisine restaurant." Chung Juanhao was confused. "What's a medicinal cuisine?" "It's a little troublesome to explain." "What do you think of the food just now?" "It's delicious." Yin Yan's dishes are 100 times better than those in high-end restaurants outside. Then if I take them out to sell? Cheng Juanhao grasped the key point. You want to open a restaurant? Yes. A medicinal cuisine restaurant could be considered a kind of restaurant. Cheng Juanhao thought for a moment. Then why are you looking for me? I heard that uncle has a shop in the city that has been abandoned and unused. You want to buy that shop? Yes. Cheng Juanhao said without thinking. Okay. That shop was left behind by your grandmother. It has been abandoned all these years. If you want it, you can use it. I originally planned to give it to you as a dowry when you get married. Su Yiyan was slightly stunned. She hurriedly said, No, no, no. I can't take such a shop for free. How about this? After I open the shop, uncle, you can be counted as a shareholder. When the shop is profitable, I'll give you a bonus. Cheng Juanhao frowned and was a little unhappy. We're family. Why are you being so polite? Although we're family, even blood brothers debts clearly. Uncle, if you say so, I'll be embarrassed to ask you for help. Cheng Juanhao heard her unspoken words and shook his head helplessly. Tell me, what else do you want me to help you with? I definitely can't open the shop alone. I'm short of manpower. After all, there's a layer of separation between us. I don't really trust the people outside. I was just wondering if Uncle could transfer a few trustworthy people from the Cheng family to help out. You can rest assured about their salary. We will definitely not treat them unfairly. Cheng Juanhao was almost amused by her. You haven't even opened the shop yet, but you're already acting like a boss? Uncle. Okay. I won't talk about it. It's not good to make mistakes when opening a restaurant. I'll go back after a while and get you some people. Is that okay? I know Uncle loves me the most. Then I'll put all these into the bonus and give it to you together. Didn't I say you don't have to be so polite? No, I must. In the end, Cheng Juanhao couldn't win against Su Yiyan. He reluctantly agreed to Su Yiyan's proposal to get him to become a shareholder. Chapter 197. Grandpa, why are you here? Grandpa Cheng snorted with a straight face. I've been here the whole time. You were just too engrossed in your conversation and didn't notice me. Su Yiyan smiled guiltily. You heard everything just now. Yes. What do you think of my idea? Can a medicinal cuisine restaurant be opened? Of course it can be opened. The seeds of the research institute have only been planted not long ago. The only products that have matured are the ones you sent over. You're the only one who owns these things before they're fully circulated. The people at the research institute know the effects of these things very well. If you're willing to take them out to open a medicinal cuisine restaurant, they'll be more than happy to support your restaurant. Su Yiyan's eyes lit up slightly. If the research institute could really support her shop as her grandpa said, then her small shop would be a small shop with a strong backer. If anything happened in the future, she would have something to rely on. However, opening a restaurant isn't like sitting in an office. I'm afraid it'll be very tiring. Su Yiyan had already thought about this. She chuckled and said, It's fine. I've already asked my uncle for help. I'll find more people to help when the time comes. At the very least, I'll make a limited sale. I'll only make 100 or 200 servings a day. Isn't that what those high-end restaurants do? I know what I'm doing. I won't tire myself out. Naive. Grandpa Cheng knew his granddaughter very well. He was tough when he was tough, but he was also really soft when he was soft-hearted. She had already opened a restaurant. When people came to ask for help, she might really tire herself out. Su Yiyan smiled and didn't comment. Grandpa Cheng knew that she didn't take his words to heart. He continued to persuade her. It's a blessing and a curse that these things are in your hands. You may face a lot of trouble opening this restaurant. Some of it you may not be able to solve. Su Yiyan's smile faded slightly. She nodded and said, Yes, I know. Even so, you still want to open it? Yes. Since these things are in my hands, I have the responsibility to make the best use of them. Firstly, I can help some people by opening this shop. Secondly, I want to have a business that I've worked hard to build. A business that you worked hard for? Old Master Cheng's face darkened. Didn't your parents leave you some assets? Yes, not long ago. Brother gave me an entertainment company to try out, but I don't think it's enough. Not enough. Old Master Cheng's expression was slightly better, but he was still a little serious. Do you think one company is too little? Then, grandfather, you misunderstood me. Su Yiyan knew what he was thinking. He laughed and said, I just want to do something that I want to do and can do. I want to experience it and make myself better and better. Only then can I be worthy of him. At first, Old Master Shen was pleased with Su Yiyan's progress, but when he heard the last sentence, his face darkened. Su Yiyan's small face blushed slightly. Under the old man's intense gaze, she said embarrassedly, It's. Seeing her like this, the old man immediately understood. Family host kid? Yes. Chapter 198. Su Yiyan looked at her grandfather, who rolled up his sleeves and looked like he was ready to hit someone at any time, as if his Achilles heel had been poked. She was stunned for a moment, then quickly went forward and hugged his arm, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. No one said anything to me. I think Chen Huan is too good, so. Grandpa Cheng's expression became slightly better, but he still curled his lips and said sourly, What's so good about him? Su Yiyan could tell that he was not convinced. She held back her laughter and said, He's good in all aspects. He's good-looking, gentle to me, loyal and protective. Grandpa Cheng could not stand it anymore. How do you know he's loyal? How long have you known each other? Be careful not to be deceived. I believe him. He won't lie to me. A man who had silently protected her for a lifetime, sacrificed everything to avenge her after her death, and even left everything behind to die generously after his revenge. If he was not loyal, then there was no one else in the world who was loyal. Find a time to ask him out. I want to see how good this man who can make you praise him so much is. Su Yiyan smiled. Okay. Grandpa Cheng calmed down after a while, then suddenly asked, Why did you choose your uncle's shop? If I remember correctly, your parents have many shops under their name. If you ask, they should be very happy to give it to you. My parents do have many shops under their name, but those shops are not as good as my uncle's. Just because of this. Su Yiyan was slightly startled, then jokingly said, Grandpa, do you think my medicinal cuisine can make money? If a unique and useful thing can't make money, what else can? Since it can make money, it's better to keep the goodies within the family. It's something that can make money anyway. It's better to give it to your own family than to give it to outsiders, isn't it? Grandpa Cheng looked at the child who could be said to have been brought up by him, and suddenly realized that the little girl who liked to run around behind him had really grown up. Although the Cheng family was a scholarly family, they had a wide network of connections and had many good friends. Thus, they had offended many people as well. In recent years, some people who didn't like them saw that he was getting old and Cheng Juanhao didn't have a successor. On the surface, they didn't dare to do anything, but behind their backs, they instigated some of the side branches of the family to have other thoughts, stirring up a foul atmosphere within the family. Although the Cheng family had connections, sometimes, it wasn't enough to solve a problem just by relying on connections. When it came to money, a single copper coin could really drive a hero to his death. Old Master Cheng thought that he and Cheng Juanhao had kept all these troubles a secret, and Cheng Xiuqin and the others didn't know about it either. He didn't expect that a little girl like Su Yiyan would see through it. Cheng Juanhao did not know the value of the Chinese herbs in Su Yiyan's hands. He thought that Su Yiyan just wanted to play with her on a whim. He would not lose much money anyway. As for the dividends that Su Yiyan mentioned, he was very pleased with her intentions, but he didn't take it to heart. Grandpa Cheng was different. He knew very well that if Su Yiyan could really open the shop and keep it going, then the dividends would be beyond Cheng Juanhao's imagination. Yan, you're a good child. Your uncle and aunt didn't dote on you in vain all these years. Su Yiyan smiled. Uncle and aunt dote on me, but don't you? I know who's good to me in this world. Chapter 199. De Lu was an old programmer in Chenyuan Technology's technology department. He was in his early 30s and had been in the technology department for 5 to 6 years. To an ordinary man, this age was considered the prime of his life. DeLu asked himself if he felt the same way. However, the Mediterranean Sea above his head, which was as shiny as a braised egg, had made him age by more than 10 years. He did not look like a young, handsome uncle whose daughter had just entered kindergarten. Instead, he looked like an old, middle-aged wretched man. Because of this, DeLu was often despised by his wife. He was even glad that he had married early. Otherwise, with his current appearance, he probably would not even be able to find a wife. 2 days ago, when it was close to getting off work, the company suddenly issued an urgent task. They were to go to the future lady boss's live stream to block some malicious ghostwriters. They were also to find out their IP addresses, chat records with their employers, and a series of chain information. DeLu touched his little Mediterranean Sea egg. He was actually a little resistant to working overtime, but when he thought of the high overtime pay, he was a little tempted. His precious little princess had just started kindergarten. There were many places where she would need money in the future. He wanted to earn as much as he could now. After all, he had a wife and a daughter now. So what if he was bald? With this thought in mind, DeLu went all out. Not only did he block a lot of accounts, but he also responded to his boss's call. He used the identification of his wife, his 7 aunts, and various relatives to register an account on the future lady boss's livestream. He followed the future lady boss's livestream and became one of her fans. Perhaps the heavens took pity on him for going bald at such a young age. When the lady boss said that she would pick a lucky viewer from the livestream and tailor a medicinal cuisine for him, DeLu was watching the livestream with his wife's account. In the end, he did not pick his own account, but his wife's account was picked. DeLu was stunned. He could not believe that an African mafioso like him, who had never won a lottery in his 30-odd years of life, would have a day when his luck would change. Ahem, his wife's account was also his account. He had won the lottery. There was nothing wrong with that. After the joy, DeLu was a little conflicted and embarrassed. He sent a photo of his bald head and began to wait anxiously. During the second live stream, he followed the live stream so that he could see what kind of medicinal cuisine the other party had prepared for him. DeLu, it's time. Aren't you going to take some nutrient fluids and find a meeting room to sleep? I still have a new project in the afternoon, and I'll probably have to work overtime again tonight. The colleague sitting next to DeLu saw that it was time to get off work, but DeLu was still sitting there motionless, so he kindly reminded him. DeLu forced a smile. You go first. I have something to take care of. I'll be there soon. Then I'll leave first. After that person left, the other colleagues in the office also left one after another. In the end, only DeLu was left. Right at this moment, a clear greeting came from outside. Excuse me, are you Mr. Liu? Your takeout is here. DeLu's eyes lit up, and he rushed out as fast as he could. It was a small bowl of sliced steamed mushroom liver. There wasn't much of it, so DeLu cherished it very much. After drinking a few mouthfuls of soup, it was gone. When he was done, he even smacked his lips, as if he hadn't had enough. After savoring the aftertaste, he remembered to touch the top of his head. It was still smooth to the touch. He was a little disappointed, but also felt that it was within his expectations. Chapter 200. After adjusting his state of mind, DeLu threw the matter to the back of his mind. He did not expect the change to happen the next day. What's wrong? DeLu looked up and met his wife's confused and surprised gaze. Is your head my head? DeLu was stunned. He remembered the bowl of soup he drank the day before, and thought that he had grown hair overnight. He excitedly reached out to touch his head, but he could not feel anything. DeLu was speechless. DeLu's wife blinked. She also felt that it was unlikely. She coughed awkwardly and said, Maybe it's just my imagination. I feel like the spot on your head has darkened a little. DeLu's emotions were like a roller coaster. He did not dwell on the matter, and went to the company dispiritedly. He thought that was the end of the matter. He did not expect that in the next few days, the bald spot on his head would change little by little. On the morning of the 5th day, a patch of hard hair grew out of his barren head. F*ck, my hair is really growing. It's really growing. Delu looked at his changed head in the mirror. His eyes were hot and he almost rushed out to tell the world that he finally had hair. However, he did not need to tell the world. Anyone with eyes could see the change. Delu did not say it out loud, but deep down he felt inferior. Usually, he would only dare to go to work with a wig. But today he did not wear a wig. He openly revealed his bald head. No, it wasn't bald. There was actually a layer of black stubble on top of his head. The famous balding boss in the design department had hair. The news spread like wildfire. It quickly spread throughout the technical department, and even gradually spread to the entire company. What were programmers most afraid of these days? Baldness. Especially baldness that resembled the Mediterranean Sea. All four sides remained, except for the bald spot in the middle. It looked like a smooth tea egg. It was even more embarrassing than being completely bald. It was fine that everyone was bald. They had agreed to bear the burden of baldness together, but he secretly grew hair himself. Unavoidably, Delu became the main focus of all the programmers in the technical department. Not long after he started work, he received countless inquiries. Ever since Big Lou joined the company, this was the first time he had enjoyed such treatment, so he didn't hide anything. He told her everything in detail about how he was selected in the future Lady Boss's livestream, how he drank a bowl of medicinal cuisine personally made by the future Lady Boss, and how his hair grew out a few days later. Everyone looked at each other when they heard this. Then someone suddenly said, "Previously, Director, you seem to have said that he could help us ask for Lady Boss's medicinal cuisine as company benefits?" As soon as this was said, the entire technical department was in an uproar. Therefore, that afternoon, when Yu Zian went to Zuyenbai to hand over his work to Qin Yuan, he was met with countless programmers who were eagerly eyeing him. "President Yu, you said before that you could help us get the Lady Boss to treat our illness through the back door as an employee benefit. Is that still valid?" Yu Zian froze for a moment, feeling a little awkward. At that time, he had just said it casually. Considering that his boss's identity hadn't been exposed yet, and the Lady Boss still didn't know that Onlooker was a business under his young master's name, this matter wouldn't be so easy to achieve. Chapter 201. At this time, Su Yiyan still didn't know that someone was in deep trouble because of her, and was waiting for her to rescue him. Since she had already made up her mind to open a physical store, Su Yiyan didn't delay for too long. That day, she coaxed and pestered Cheng Juanhao to sign a restaurant share agreement with her. She contacted a renovation team, and started to officially renovate the long-abandoned store the next day. Su Yiyan's father and the others were shocked when they learned that Su Yiyan wanted to open her own store. However, they didn't object. They felt that this was a good opportunity for Su Yiyan to practice. They were a little worried that she would be tired after opening the store, but they supported her decision with both hands and feet. They even offered to support her with funds. Su Yiyan didn't accept. She only asked for some trustworthy people from the two of them. When the renovation team was done, they would come over to help her. This wasn't difficult for the two of them, so they agreed on the spot. In Su Yiyan's era, although some cultural heritages were declining, and most of the animals and plants had gone through a certain period of replacement, most of them were extinct. However, in some aspects, it was still much more advanced than the era in Wen Jingping's previous life. The most obvious difference was technology and infrastructure. In the 21st century, a store that would take a few months to renovate could be completed in a week with advanced equipment and special materials. Moreover, most of the materials used were non-polluting and non-toxic. Basically, it didn't take long for ventilation to move in. The more troublesome part was the design of the store's renovation. Fortunately, there were many design drawings in the system for reference. Su Yiyan chose the best one among them, and left the rest to the renovation team. On the 5th day of the renovation team's official construction, Su Yiyan woke up early in the morning, and made some porridge and steamed buns for breakfast. Just as he sat down, he saw his uncle and aunt lovingly holding each other's hands, as they walked down the stairs with rosy faces. Cheng Xiuqin and the others also noticed them. They looked at each other and joked. "Why did you come down so late today? Did you stay up too late last night? Mom, aren't you talking nonsense? Just by looking at Auntie's refreshed look, you should know how hard Uncle worked last night. Mr. Su glanced at his eldest son calmly and said without batting an eyelid, if you're so envious of your uncle, hurry up and find yourself one. Su Yuxuan choked. He rubbed his nose and said helplessly, it's not like you can find it just because you want to. Cheng Xiuqin rolled his eyes at his eldest son, his face full of disappointment. You may not be able to find it if you want to, but if you don't look for it, you definitely won't be able to find it. Su Yuxuan. That might not be the case. When Su Yuxuan saw that breakfast time was about to devolve into a wedding banquet, he looked at Su Yiyan pleadingly, hoping that she could save him. Su Yiyan suppressed her laughter and glanced at him. In the end, she pitied him and pushed the red bean porridge that she had prepared for Qin Shueru. It's okay, Auntie. Don't listen to my brother's nonsense. You and Uncle are husband and wife. Husband and wife have to do what husband and wife should do. We all understand. It would have been better if Su Yiyan didn't say that. Once she said that, Qin Shueru's ears turned red. She wanted to bury her head in the bowl and not come out. Logically speaking, at her age, she didn't have much passion for certain things. Chapter 202. The medicinal cuisine that Su Yiyan had prepared for her had the effect of nourishing the nest, and it was able to nourish her body's ability in this aspect. In addition, during this period of time, Cheng Xiuqin would take her out for a walk whenever he was free. They would go shopping, buy things, and gather with other friends. With more things to do, her life was more fulfilling. Once her life was fulfilled, she would not be bothered by those troublesome things anymore, and her mentality would be much more relaxed. Both physically and mentally, Qin Shueru's complexion was much better than when she first arrived. Cheng Juanhao saw this and was happy in his heart. He smiled and did not refute their teasing. He saw the changes in Qin Shueru, and his body seemed to have changed in the past 2 days. To sum it up, the two of them had found some small memories of their youth, and they had accidentally gone a little overboard. It was a little embarrassing to say it, but they were husband and wife. It was natural for them to do this kind of thing, so there was nothing awkward about it. After the family chatted and laughed and had breakfast, Su Yiyan prepared to go to the medicinal cuisine restaurant. She did not expect to receive a call from Xia Junsheng before she stepped out of the house. What happened? A female artist in the company had an accident. She's now in the hospital. Hospital? Injured? Is it serious? Su Yiyan frowned and could not help but feel worried. If it was an ordinary injury and hospitalization, Xia Junsheng would not call her like this. It's not serious, but she's participating in a talent show. I'm afraid she has to withdraw after being hospitalized. Talent show? The one that Wen Jingping is participating in? Su Yiyan seemed to have sensed something. Does this have anything to do with Wen Jingping? Yes. Xia Junsheng was silent for a moment, then told her the whole story. The injured female artist was called Yu Yushi. She was one of the 7 people sent by Dongqing to participate in the show. She was considered to be quite capable among the 7 people, and her ranking had always been in the upper tier. Last week, they had just gone through a big elimination of 60 to 20. Yu Yushi and 2 other female artists in the company had smoothly entered the top 20. Originally, a female artist from a company that had a good relationship with her could also enter the top 20. However, because Wen Jingping, who had originally been ordered to withdraw, used some tricks and was forced back, the female artist was forcefully squeezed out of her slot and regretfully withdrew from the competition. Yu Yushi was so angry that she ran straight to Wen Jingping to find trouble. She tore off the fig leaf in front of everyone and scolded her for being shameless. She should have scram as far away as possible after withdrawing from the competition. Why did she have to come back? Moreover, with her looks and ability, she was not worthy of being in the top 20. Yu Yushi only used her mouth to scold others the entire time, and did not make a move. Wen Jingping's eyes turned red after being scolded by her. She still looked like a white lotus who had been bullied. A girl who had a good relationship with her, and had a bad temper could not stand by and pushed Yu Yushi. Yu Yushir was already angry. After being pushed, she exploded on the spot and started fighting with the girl. This development was out of everyone's expectations. The others were a little confused at first, but later, they were worried that they would be punished for causing a big scene, so they quickly went forward to pull the two of them apart. During the pushing and shoving, the girl who stood up for Wen Jingping accidentally knocked Yu Yushir off the stage. Chapter 203. Su Yiyan's eyes darkened when she heard Xia Juanxing's words. She asked in a low voice, "What's the name of the girl who stood up for Wen Jingping?" "I think her name is Simingyu." "Simingyu." Su Yiyan's eyes flickered. "Is she also in the top 20? "Yes." Xia Junxing was not stupid. He quickly reacted when he heard Su Yiyan's words. "You're suspecting?" Su Yiyan chuckled and did not answer directly. She already felt that the name Yu Yushir was somewhat familiar. Now that she heard Simingyu's name and knew that she was also in the top 20, Su Yiyan was even more certain. She had never encountered this in her previous life, but it happened to be mentioned in the original novel provided by the system. Simingyu was the first friend that Wen Jingping met when she participated in the variety show. She was straightforward and loyal. To put it nicely, she was simple. But to put it bluntly, she was straightforward and a little stupid. Wen Jingping saw through her character at a glance. When she took the initiative to come over and express her goodwill, she was very gentle and warm. After a while, the two of them became very good friends. In the original novel, Yu Yushir did find trouble with Wen Jingping. However, at that time, Wen Jingping did not deliberately try to take advantage of the new streamer. Instead, she was slapped in the face by the new streamer, and was even persuaded to leave the show by the production team. There was also no incident where Wen Jingping relied on her connections to replace the person who should have been shortlisted. The way Yu Yushir went to find trouble with Wen Jingping was considered gentler. Yu Yushir's personality was similar to Simingyu's. She had a bad temper and looked down on those who were not worthy of the position, and had no ability, but insisted on staying because of connections. She found a private time to ask Wen Jingping out alone, and said a few words to her. In summary, she hoped that she would retreat in the face of difficulties, and take the initiative to withdraw from the show and give the position to those who were better than her. In the original novel, Wen Jingping was the female lead. Everything was described from her point of view. Naturally, it emphasized how hard she worked and how motivated she was. For someone who came to find trouble with her, it was written as harshly as possible. At the same time, it made people feel sorry for her and annoyed with the character of Yu Yushir. Perhaps it was because of the filter of an enemy's enemy being a friend. Su Yiyan felt that there was nothing wrong with Yu Yushir's words. It was just that she used the wrong method and pushed herself into a disadvantageous position. After being scolded by Yu Yushir, Wen Jingping felt very wronged and ran to find Simingyu with red eyes. Seeing her like this, Simingyu naturally couldn't help but ask a few questions. Wen Jingping was unwilling to say at first, but later on, she told her about Yu Yushir looking for trouble with her intermittently. She even deliberately skipped over some important points, and only extracted a few of Yu Yushir's more aggressive sentences. Originally, the meaning of a sentence could completely change if the tone was different, let alone take it out of context like Wen Jingping. Simingyu was filled with anger when she heard it. Naturally, she wanted to stand up for her best friend. She rushed over to quarrel with Yu Yushir. In the end, they quarreled and fought. Yu Yushir was injured and was forced to withdraw from the show. Simingyu was also persuaded to withdraw by the production team because she hurt someone. Su Yiyan felt that this scene was quite out of place when she roughly watched it. Now that she knew that both of them were outstanding seeded contestants in the top 20, she could not help but have other thoughts. Chapter 204. Su Yiyan pondered for a moment and asked again, "Did the two of them have an argument on stage?" "Yes, but it wasn't during the recording. It was after the recording was completed." Su Yiyan took a deep breath and muttered, "Was there a video camera still on at the scene? Or a surveillance camera?" "There should be. I've already asked someone to get it. After all, their company had invested in this show. so it shouldn't be a problem to get the surveillance video. Moreover, something had happened to their artist, so the production team really should give them an explanation. Remember to make a copy for me when you get it. It's best if it's from Wen Jingping's perspective. After hearing Su Yiyan's words, Xia Junxing actually had a trace of doubt in his heart. Okay, I'll get them to do it as soon as possible. Okay. After Su Yiyan responded, she didn't hear anything for a long time. She frowned slightly and took the initiative to ask, "Is there anything else? Yu Yushur is hospitalized. Do you want to come and see her?" Su Yiyan's first reaction when she heard Xia Junxing's words was, "Who is this artist? Why does the big boss have to go and see her in person when she's hospitalized? Who's this person? I only found out today that her sister is Yu Jingyu, her biological sister." Yu Jingyu? Su Yiyan felt that the name was a little familiar. After thinking for a while, she finally remembered. The general manager of the jewelry group, Yu Group? She's the second daughter of the Yu family? Yes. Su Yiyan really didn't know whether to laugh or cry. One Ning Chirui was not enough. And now there was the second daughter of the Yu Group. Did her company burn incense or offend the god of fortune in her previous life? Our entertainment company is really full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Xia Junxing was also a little helpless. If it was an ordinary artist, he could just go and take a look with his status, but if it involved the Yu Group, his status was a little weak. Then you see, I'll go. I can also take a look at this legendary Iron Lady. The Yu family, a jewelry family, only had 2 daughters in this generation. The eldest daughter, Yu Jingyu, had followed her parents into the company for an internship early on. In a few years, she had quickly gained a foothold in the company, and even in the jewelry industry. Women had a natural advantage and sensitivity when it came to jewelry. In addition, Miss Yu's personality was not inferior to those men, so she was known as the Iron Lady of the business world. Compared to her thunderous reputation, the second Miss of the Yu family was much more low-key. There was almost no news about her to the outside world. Su Yiyan also didn't expect that she would actually hide in her own company. Could it be that the rich young masters and young ladies all entered the entertainment circle to play these days? However, Yu Yushur's identity reminded her of something else. In the original novel, Wen Jingping was worried that Yu Yushur and the management company behind her would find trouble with her after this incident. She even told Hua Xiaofeng about it. When Hua Xiaofeng found out, he gave her an idea and asked her to bring a bunch of reporters to the hospital to visit Yu Yushur. In front of so many cameras, Wen Jingping humbled herself and apologized to Yu Yushur. Moreover, she apologized on behalf of Si Mingyu, so Yu Yushur couldn't be too harsh. After all, people tended to side with the weak. If Yu Yushur really didn't let it go, her original victim status would probably be stripped. To put it bluntly, it was moral blackmail. If someone apologized to you, you would be magnanimous if you forgave them. If you didn't forgive them, you would be calculative. Chapter 205. However, in the eyes of the readers, she was a cannon fodder villain and a bad person. When she was punished, the readers would think that the female lead did a good job and was gentle and kind. Yu Yushur suffered such a huge loss and was disgusted by Wen Jingping, so she naturally refused to let it go. After that, she caused trouble for Wen Jingping a few times, but was blocked by Hua Xiaofeng. Si Mingyu was not so lucky. Unlike Wen Jingping, she did not have Hua Xiaofeng's protection. The consequences of being attacked by the Yu family's revenge were obvious. After Si Mingyu left the show, Wen Jingping even ran to thank her and felt guilty that she had implicated her. At the same time, she mentioned that she had to compromise and apologize to Yu Yushur because of her hitting someone. Si Mingyu was so touched that she completely forgot that she had gotten into trouble because of her. After that, Si Mingyu disappeared from the industry, but Wen Jingping climbed higher and higher. She only heard about Si Mingyu from others when she was successful and found out that she was inexplicably banned by the company after this incident. When her contract expired, she left the entertainment industry and returned to her hometown. It was said that she was forced to marry a mommy's boy by her family and led a miserable life. Wen Jingping sighed and threw this matter to the back of her mind. Su Yiyan did not believe that Wen Jingping could not guess that Sima Yu had ended up like this because of her. She pretended to sigh and did not even think of meeting her to ask if she needed help. It was obvious that she was cold-hearted. At that time, Sima Yu would often see the people she had helped standing under the spotlight and being pursued and envied by countless people on television. She who had stood up for her ended up in a bad state because of helping her. Did she ever regret her enthusiasm? On the way to the hospital, Su Yiyan simply sorted out the relationship between the three of them. In conclusion, Sima Yu was not a bad person, but she was too stupid. She was the kind of person who would count money after being sold. When Su Yiyan arrived at the hospital, Xia Junxing was already there with a mini projector in his hand. You got the surveillance footage so quickly? When the incident happened, there was a camera at the side that was still on, and it captured some things. Su Yiyan's eyes lit up and she was instantly interested. Did you manage to capture something related to Wen Jingping? Just a little bit. Take a look for yourself. Su Yiyan took the projector and asked, did the production team give this to you so easily? They weren't willing to give it to us at first, but President Ho put pressure on them. Chen Huan. Su Yiyan was stunned. He knows about this too? Cough. It should be one of my subordinates keeping an eye on the situation over there. Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows.